tropical wave leaves the western coast of Africa. 5 days later, a small cyclone develops in the mid-Atlantic. It's named Tropical Storm Dorian. Though no one knows it yet, it's set to become a monster hurricane, one that will have far-reaching impact beyond the storm itself. Across the Atlantic, for most Bahamians, preparing for hurricane season is nothing new. It's something to take in stride.
We were prepared traditionally. I have hurricane impact windows at home, standby generators, so I always have water, that type of thing. I've experienced I think 6 storms. Usually I'm home, usually my house is pretty much untouched. My kids' playhouse sits 6 feet off the ground. It's built out of wood and it has survived 2 prior storms with no issue. So, I felt pretty secure at home.
The Bahamas are an archipelago of more than 700 islands, speckled across 470,000 square kilometers of ocean. An ecological oasis and a tourism mecca.
Beautiful beaches, beautiful weather, great people, great food. You can't ask for a better place to live.
But the very climate that makes the tropics so enjoyable is exactly what feeds tropical cyclones.
The wind speed gets above 63 kilometers per hour, they are called a tropical storm. If they get up to 119 kilometers per hour or greater, then that tropical storm becomes the big daddy of them all, becomes a hurricane. What determines whether it's a hurricane, a cyclone, or a typhoon is where they originate. If they begin in the Atlantic Ocean, they're called hurricanes, and it comes from the indigenous word for storm god, which was hurricane. West of the international date line, then these same hurricane-type events are called typhoons. It comes from the Chinese word typhung, or typhoon, meaning big wind. Indian Ocean and the Bay of Bengal, they're just called cyclones.
Like giant engines that use warm, moist air as fuel, tropical storms can form any time of year, where the water is warm enough to feed the developing cyclones. Every year, lists of names for tropical storms are created for each geographic region. The names are assigned in alphabetical order as they're detected. South of Grand Bahama Island on New Providence Island,
Crazy, crazy, crazy.
Chela and her brother Alejandro run a refuge for homeless and abandoned dogs.
I came to the Bahamas because I met somebody, and I thought it was gonna be my dream, my fairy tale, but there were dogs everywhere. I was on the street taking care of the dogs, at the clinic, picking up dogs. After 10 years, I was given a choice, the dogs or the marriage. And the dogs needed me. I don't think the dogs were gonna find another me. That's what I thought, so I gave up on my marriage and my life.
As Tropical Storm Dorian heads towards the Caribbean, Chela and Alejandro keep busy with the dogs like nothing's happening.
It was in the news as a tropical storm, which we deal with it constantly, so there was nothing to worry about it.
But as Dorian bears down on the Caribbean, states of emergency are implemented, and Dorian makes landfall on the U.S. Virgin Islands as a Category 1 hurricane.
There are 5 categories of hurricanes. Category 1 has sustained winds of 119 kilometers per hour or more.
Miraculously, Dorian passes through much of the Caribbean with relatively little damage. As Dorian sweeps north towards the Bahamas, it's upgraded to a Category 2 hurricane. Along the coast of Grand Bahama, Stefan begins securing his newly built home as his wife heads inland to stay with family.
Everybody in Grand Bahama, around my neighborhood, trying to get plywood, trying to board up the house, trying to get supplies, try to make their house secure.
As the hurricane approaches, Deshaun messages Jensen, asking him to fuel up their jet skis.
After the storm, getting fuel is very difficult, so I wanted them to be just full of fuel. Usually we'd go out and ride and assess damage by sea after the storm.
After filling them, I could jokingly post on social media stating, if anyone needs rescues, we're here to help. We didn't expect to use our jet skis during a hurricane. That was the last thing that was on my mind.
Little do they know, things are about to change. Monitoring the threat, an NOAA flight heads directly above the growing hurricane and deploys a dropsonde.
Inside, they have sensors for measuring temperature, pressure, humidity, wind direction, and speed. It's like doing a CAT scan of a hurricane. They are extremely valuable in understanding the anatomy of these tropical storms.
Residents of the Bahamas receive shocking news. Dorian has grown to a Category 5 hurricane.
5 is lumping all of the ones that would be winds in excess of 250 kilometers per hour. This is what we call catastrophic. It's really a life changer. A brick home can be flattened. Entire trees would just be picked up and carried like sticks and just tossed like javelins. The damage is, it looks like a war zone.
Warnings are issued to take immediate cover. The police state that if the warnings are not heeded, the end could be fatal. On New Providence, Chella is running an errand when she hears the news.
I went to the vet and they were securing the clinic, and I thought it was gonna be just a tropical storm. I said, no, it's a hurricane Category 5. So I came to the refuge. I told my brother, collect all of the hurricane shutters. We are in trouble because we haven't done anything.
Dozens of makeshift shelters house the rescue's 80 dogs. There's no way they'll withstand a Category 5 storm. Chella knows they need to act fast.
There was no way that I was gonna leave the dogs outside. We dismantled the dog houses, the canopies, the tents, and we moved the dogs inside.
There's no time to waste. If the storm is anything like the Labor Day hurricane, things could go from bad to worse quickly.
In 1935, there was an infamous hurricane called the Labor Day hurricane. This is not just a 5. This was like a super 5 at 298 kilometers per hour. And it was the strongest wind from a landfalling hurricane in history that had ever been known. It totally obliterated small towns in that area, took out trains, took out railway lines. I think it killed about 423 people.
The storm destroyed almost everything along a 65-kilometer strip of the Florida Keys. Those who live on the small islands of the Bahamas can only hope that Dorian won't hit full force. With 80 rescue dogs already in the house, the thought of homeless dogs out on the streets in a Category 5 hurricane is more than Chella can bear. She heads out to find more strays in need of help.
We knew that something bad was coming our way, and I tried to rush and grab as many dogs as I could.
Chella rescues 17 more dogs, but the storm becomes too intense. With 97 dogs inside the house, 79 in her master bedroom alone, Chella finally closes the door.
The wind already was just going crazy, and by the time I had everybody in the house, we just closed ourselves in.
Chella begins to document the ordeal over social media.
Everyone here gets along and welcome their newcomers with tail wags because they know that they are their brothers and sisters in suffering on the streets. Each of my babies deserve to have loving homes, so please, I am begging to rescues to help them. My heart is breaking that I left so many on the streets. Because I have no more room to bring them.
Chela has some time to post pictures before she loses power.
We lost the electricity around 4 o'clock. The internet, cable, phone line, everything was gone.
Dorian is about to hit the Bahamas full force, and Chela and Alejandro have lost all connection with the outside world.
We can all drown. Anything can happen during a hurricane.
During the night, Hurricane Dorian hits the Bahamas full force. After staying behind to secure his family's home, Stefan wakes up with a shock.
I was sleeping at the time when the hurricane was here. Me and my dog, Coco, that's who wake me up. Because her bed started floating on the floor, and she started barking to alarm me. So when I get out of bed and I put my foot on the floor, I felt water about that high. I said, oh man, it's down here already. So I got up. When I got up and I opened up my room door, the water was so high, when I opened the door, it gushed me back.
Stefan and Coco are trapped. There's nowhere to go.
It's often the storm surge, which is the killer aspect of a hurricane. You can survive the winds and the heavy rains, but boy, that wall of water that comes across the beach, comes right inland for several kilometers, can be really very destructive. You take a cubic meter of water, it weighs about 1,000 kilograms. That can pound and demolish structures. It's these timbers, it's 2x4s, it's glass and doors that get rushed into this water. Lower levels of strong, sturdy buildings are destroyed. It's really a force, a huge force of nature that can kill people.
On New Providence, Chela and her brother Alejandro struggle through the night.
79 dogs were in my bedroom alone. They could kill each other if they wanted to, but it's like they understood that we were in distress, and I was in distress because of the situation. Everybody behaved.
But the safety of the dogs isn't the only thing they have to worry about.
I always worry about if we have a high tide and we can all drown. Anything can happen during a hurricane.